Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. What you're looking at here is Mark's L-head engine. The past few engines that have come in here have been pretty bad. Mark's wasn't as bad as John's MB block, but the valve guides are really stuck in there. And lately, the engines that have been coming in have been absolutely horrible for getting the valve guides out. If you're a regular follower of me, you've seen me do engines that, you know, a good running engine that just needed a rebuild. I'd go in there and I'd knock out the valve guides with a driver and a hammer. No big deal. Then they started getting worse and worse, and I made a puller. Again, some of you guys that have been watching me saw I made a puller, a hydraulic puller with a porta power, and I'd pump that by hand and pull the guides out. Well, between John's engine and Mark's engine, I got a new setup. I got a hollow cylinder there, and I absolutely had to put it to a hydraulic power pack. I just couldn't get enough power with the porta power by hand. So this unit came off of a old retired hose crimping tool, and I can't get hose ends. A very antique kind of thing. I can't get hose ends anymore, so this was just kind of sitting there, and I figured I'd put it to good use. So I just got a hose going to a hollow cylinder, and that's much better than that one I had. This is a 4-inch stroke on this one, and it's a 20-ton unit. So we'll get set up, and I'll show you how easy it is to pull the guides out with this. I believe this is my final valve guide pulling setup. It works very good, and like I say, the engines are just getting worse and worse, so I got to kind of roll with the changes and change my ways of doing things. But this is a good setup, and let's get set up and pull one of these guys out. Okay guys, I'm all hooked up in the guide. I'll show you what I got going on in there. Got a little foot pedal here, and let's see how it goes. Alright, I think you see how easy that went. Now, I had tried Mark's valve guides by hand with the porta power, and I couldn't even come close to getting them to budge. And you heard that pop, and then it came right out. Now I'll show you what I did with the hydraulic cylinder here, so you can see, in case anybody wants to duplicate anything like this. Let's see if you can see that. That is an 8.5-inch long, 1-inch grade 8 bolt. Drilled and tapped the end for my setup stud, 3/8/16. There's other ways of doing that, but this just worked. It was the easiest thing I could think of to get in there. So we'll send that down through there. And then we just got a little 3/8/16 nut. Tighten that down, and we'll go for another one. You hear that pop and a little bit of pressure, and then you can see it release right out of there. So probably not a lot of guys doing a lot of engines. I got 5 engines going on right now, and this has always been a slowdown for me, trying to get the guides out, because they can really be stuck in there. And this particular engine had a lot of rust and junk in the valve bowl area there. So let's hit another one, and like I said, you can kind of see how fast it goes. There, that was it. It popped again, and here it comes. no banging, no working the pour to power by hand. That was just, I couldn't get enough, just couldn't get enough pressure by hand. But this little power unit makes it super easy. And with a little foot pedal, takes longer to set up than it does to actually pull a guide out. So if anybody's thinking of doing something like this, you can pick up a hollow cylinder. They make them in 2-inch lengths, 4-inch lengths, and all different kinds of lengths and stuff. 4-inch was plenty for me. They're not terribly expensive, and you can pick up a power pack anywhere. And no damage to the engine. Good base to sit on the block. And these guys come right out. And I haven't had one that I couldn't get out yet with this. So this is probably, like I say, my final change for getting guides out of engines. I've come from hand to pour to power to this guy with the power pack, and it works great. Just trying to show you in real time here what it takes to pull the 8 guides. It makes a terrible job go much easier, and I do not have to worry about damaging the block if I'm banging them out, trying to bang them down. Or that other setup I had worked, but I had a piece of pipe, I had a kind of a homemade cylinder there. I took a hook cylinder, cut the hooks off, put a setup stud in it, and it just you need 3 hands to work that thing. It worked, but as you can see, this is much better. Okay, so if you watched real time on the video, you see how quick 8 guides came out of this engine. I'll just stick that guy back in there, and again, there's my setup. Just a 1-inch bolt with a 3/8 16 setup stud. You want to use a setup stud because they're much stronger than just a bolt, and I'm not worried at all about the grade 8 bolt. I got a washer, and there's the hollow cylinder. So just another way of doing things. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching, and I will keep bringing you tips and tricks as I unfold them. So again, this is my final setup for valve guide removal, and as you saw, it works great. Okay, catch you on the next one.